Thank you, Marin. Hi, everyone. So I'm Matthew. I'm in charge of how 360 Learning, this company, is organized. And I would like to tell you today about how we turned culture and organization into a key factor of our success. If we start from the beginning, it starts with the founders who had a conviction that the model of work in most companies now is becoming really inefficient. First, most companies use pyramids, and pyramids are inefficient because if you have a boss that is bad, the whole unit will perform badly. Whereas if you think about the web of the block or the blockchain, these structures are really resilient because they are distributed. So they thought organizations should be decentralized also to be performing. Also, authority creates a lot of frictions and it hides problems. So a company, to perform best, should be able to work without authority. And opacity, asymmetry of information, gives power to just only a few people. And also, it makes people feel they are part of a machine they don't understand. Whereas when you share information, people can make real decisions on their scopes, and they can also feel part of something they understand, of the whole thing. So, having this in mind, and after years, they solved the problems that came with growth, problem by problem, one by one, but keeping these solutions in mind. And after years, it gave what they called the Convexity Framework, which is both our culture and the pillars of how we are organized. So, what is Convexity today? I'm going to show you its key aspects. There are 6 key aspects, and the first one is shared methodologies. So it's really important to be efficient together, to have shared methodologies. And when newcomers arrive at 360 Learnings, they are trained on these methodologies. We are a learning platform. We do training as our job. So they are trained on our platform. This is our platform. And for example, they are trained on how we use Trello, because Trello is our main collaboration tool. We have a special way of using it. So in the first week, they are trained on that, because it's important that 360 learners are strong with their tools. Next, there's focus. It's really important to work in an environment that allows you to be focused on your creative tasks. And the problem is that in many work environments, you cannot focus for a long time. You are often interrupted by either persons or notification asking you to answer now. And we think that tools like Slack, they kill focus. So we don't use them. In Convexity, you make requests on Trello, and the people will answer the request in a few hours, but after their creative tasks. So this creates also efficiency. So we really separate like moments and zones of focus and moments of conviviality. It's just having methods. Then very busy people at 360 Learning can have agendas looking like this, because we don't use meeting a lot to solve issues. We have better ways to address problems and to address ways of sharing information or solving topics. Yeah. So it's the first aspect. A second very important aspect is self-management. It's central to Convexity. Self-management starts by clearly defined responsibilities. And the areas of responsibility are well separated. So we have a direct responsible individual for every important topic for the growth of 360 Learning. Then everyone commits to results. That's your job. That's what you paid for, you commit to results. But then to realize these results, we really give like maximum autonomy, full autonomy. So for example, we have a policy where everyone can choose their holiday where they want. There is literally no validation. You have access to the tool and you validate yourself your holidays. You can, if your work allows it, you can work from wherever you want. So for example, we had like in the recently 10 people chose to take Airbnbs in Porto and to live for 10 days and to work from co-working. So it was not holiday, they chose to do that. And it was really efficient, they were performing. People did that in Toulouse also. The sales team is going soon in the countryside. And I work remote on a weekly basis also. So it's because it's part of self-management, of choosing how you deliver your results. How you evolve personally in such a context, it's you manage your evolution, and taking feedbacks into account is really important because you manage your evolution, so you have to listen to feedback here. And you're assessed. We try a maximum to have assessment via data. It's easy for sales, for example, because they have targets, but even for every kind of job by data or by peer-to-peer. For developers, it works much more by peer-to-peer reviews. But we try to have really clear assessments. Then this can only work with the clearly separated scopes if you have a lot of team play. A third aspect that is important is benevolence and help. Because in 360 Learning, people are really always ready to help each other. It's important. And it's even more important because as we have no managers, sometimes conflict appear. So you need to be in a benevolent mindset to want to solve issues with the others when they appear. And also, we really have this philosophy of continuous alignment. So we stay synchronized as a team with tools like over Trello, and that's also why we don't need meetings. And team play also is taking the time to give feedback to the others. It's really important to perform together. And when I go quick on the three other aspects, an aspect is transparency, which empowers everyone to take really meaningful decisions on their scope, and so to make more. For people working at the product, for example, they love having access to a lot of discussions, a lot of data, of history about the company to make better choice about the product. We have a rational and data-driven mindset, and this ensures that it's not the people who are the more charismatic or who have the biggest ego that are listened to. It's really the people who have the most tangible arguments. And we go forward with that. And also the last aspect is distributed leadership, because of course in an organization you need strong leaders. And just like we sell with our products, the leaders in our organization are the experts. So the experts of the product give the vision about the product. And as you have many expertise in a company, you have many leaderships. So I showed you what is Convexity today. But Convexity is always evolving. So what's next? And we're doubling. We're going to be 120 people soon, 150. We're going to go to the US. It's going to evolve the same way it has been created, just by solving problems, keeping in mind why we do this. So, but we think that we're starting to create kind of a platform to organize work in companies. That's where we're tending with Convexity. And yeah, something that is kind of hard work because we have, it's difficult to find inspiration because the work that we do there is really a pioneer work about this new kind of companies. So there are a few companies from which we can inspire in the world that already work really well with the new kind of management system like that. And some companies are even with 2,000 people, but there are a few of them. So it's a difficult work, but we managed to do it and it's performing very well. So yes, Convexity is really a key factor of our success now. And even first for the engagement of the 360 learners, our collaborators, because Convexity was decisive in their choice to join the company for many of them, often after previous work experiences that they were not really satisfied about. And also is why they stay, because they feel really engaged by the empowerment they have. And also it brings a lot of economic value, because all the efficiency I showed you, and even, for example, because we don't have to pay expensive managers and of whom the value is not really clear. Everyone has a clear, tangible value that they bring to the company, so it brings economic growth. And now I'd like to attract your attention on one point, is that we made strong choices, as you see. And when you make choices, you define who you are. Because a company's culture is its personality. It's really clear. It's who you are as a company is how you respond to clients on an everyday basis, how you handle challenges, and all the choices you make on an everyday basis. So ultimately, it defines who you will become as a company in 5 years, in 10 years. If you think about Apple, for example, what has been consistent over the decades is not their strategy. The strategy evolved with the market, with different things. But the way they thought about business was unique from the beginning. So if a personality is strong, it doesn't fit with everyone. So who are the 360 learners, the people who fit well with Convexity? Well, first, it's autonomous people, people who like autonomy. It's experts and performers, people who like to perform, and we have very diverse background, but we have a lot of the top French schools in the company, like Polytechnique, HEC, and schools like that, because people feel they can perform in this environment. But also, they are team players. They are people who like to help. They are people who like to teach and be taught. They keep their ego in check, and they are not people who want to control others, because that kind of people don't fit with our culture. And we can understand that some people, for example, don't like methodologies at all and prefer having a good boss. And that's okay, but they just fit with another kind of culture. So as you're looking for job opportunities now, I'd like to invite you to ask you some questions yourself when you meet a company. Like, if you ask yourself, how do these people see the world? Like, think about Apple. They had a very precise vision about the world, about what it should be. What do they believe in? What have been their choices? And for example, after École Polytechnique, that's what I did. I had never been employed. I was always a freelancer or creating my organizations, a startup, an NGO. And it's the first company I chose to join because what they believed in was resonating with me. So I invite you to make your choices with the same way of thinking about companies. So thank you. If you're interested about our unique model of growth and organization, we have open job position. We will open soon, newer soon, because it's always expanding. So you can check our website, stay in touch with the social media, and or see us tomorrow at the job fair. We will be here. So thank you very much.